Hi there, welcome to class. Let's begin standing at the end of our mat with your feet hip width apart and parallel. Let's take an inhale and take the arms up to the ceiling and circle around and down. Let's do that a few times. Breathing in as your arms rise and then breathing out as they circle around and down. Inhale as the arms go up. Exhale as they come around. We've got one more like this. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then when our arms come by our sides, they're going to stay there. And we're going to do a roll down to the floor, bringing your chin to your chest. And then allowing your body to bit by bit roll yourself down. It's okay to bend your knees if you need to, just a little bit. You're going to dangle for a moment. And then from your pelvis, tailbone under and roll yourself all the way back up to standing. Both arms go up to the ceiling, circle around and clasp your hands behind you this time. Pull back and hold for a stretch. 3 deep breaths here. Every inhale, widening the shoulders. And then releasing the grasp of your hands, letting your arms have a little shake by your sides. And then we have a second roll down. Let's take an inhale to prepare. And then on the exhale, chin to chest and start to roll down again. All the way down to the floor. Make it feel like everything falls out the top of your head. The arms dangle. It's okay to bend your knees just a little bit if you need to. We're going to roll all the way back up again. Tailbone under, the pelvis leads the way. Head is the last thing to come up. Let's take both arms back up to the ceiling and we'll do another pec stretch. They circle round, clasp your hands behind you and pull back. 2 deep breaths this time. Shoulders widening on the inhale. Arms back by your sides and the last roll down. Chin to chest and articulate all the way down. We're going to stay down here a little bit longer than last time. And we're going to add in a knee bend, tuck the tailbone under, and then push the legs straight so that sit bones to the ceiling. And then we bend the knees and soften. Tailbone tucks under, head tucks in, and then push the feet down into the mat to send your sit bones to the ceiling. And again, bend your knees and soften. And then straighten your legs. And on this one, you're going to bend your knees and soften. And then you're going to come all the way down into 4-point kneeling. So finding roughly the middle of your mat to be. And the hands are underneath the shoulders and the knees are underneath the hips. And we're going to push down into the floor and create a cat stretch. Tailbone tucking under, head tucking in, hands pushing your low back up towards the ceiling. Inhale, and then let yourself settle back into flat back, a neutral position. And then another cat stretch. And then back to flat back. Cat stretch, hands pressing down, knees pressing down, inner thighs lifting, low back bones lifting up into the skin. And then back through to neutral or flat back. Let's have 2 more like this. And then on that last one, we're going to hold the shape. Okay, so here we go for the last one. Hands pressing down, knees pressing down, inner thighs lifting. And now we're going to hold this shape and then turn it into angry cat. So we're going to lift the hips up and back over the heels. So there is distance between my pelvis and my heels. I'm still in a cat stretch. I'm just increasing the stretch in my low back. And then from here, I roll my pelvis through back to neutral. And then I track forward over my hands again. Step 1, a cat stretch. Step 2, angry cat. Step 3, the roll through to neutral. Step 4, the track forward back into 4-point kneeling. So it's 4 defined steps. Cat, angry cat, a pelvic roll through to neutral, and then track forwards to 4-point kneeling. Let's do that one more time. Cat stretch, angry cat, pelvic roll, and then 4-point kneeling. Hold it here. Take one of your legs out behind you and then all the way around to the side so that your foot is flat on the floor. And then we're going to ease the hips forward and back. Just breathing naturally as you move. We'll have 2 more of these, and then we're going to add in that cat stretch again. Okay, so here we are, the cat stretch, the angry cat, and the trickiest bit out of all of it, the pelvic roll with your leg out to the side, and then back to the start. Off you go again, cat stretch, angry cat, roll the pelvis through, return, cat stretch, angry cat, roll the pelvis, return. Just feeling how that stretches a whole load of muscles all the way down your leg. And you might actually find that you get stretching right down by your ankle and your foot. Okay, so we're going to bring that leg all the way back in and underneath us and switch it around. So it's now the other leg. So we start off tracking back and forth. So we don't do anything with the shape of our spine. We're just moving the hips back and then bringing them forwards. Okay, from here into a cat stretch, and then an angry cat, and then a pelvic roll, and then a return. And you're trying to make it feel as flowing as you can, just working with your own tightness and mobility and what you have going on today. Got 2 more. This one, and then the next one. So here's your last one. And then you're going to bring that leg behind you, underneath you, and from there, we're going to go into thread the needle. So one of your arms is going to come down to the mat and reach across. This is a bit of a spinal rotation. You don't have to go too far if you don't want to. And you can stay elevated off the mat like I am in my demo. It is okay to come right down if your body is happy with that. But I'm just going to stay up here. We're going to come back out of that and go the other way. And then we'll repeat that once more on each side. So back to the first side. Coming back up. And then over to the far side. Back up to 4-point kneeling, sitting back down into a shell stretch or a child's pose. And then we're going to walk the hands around to one side. Then to the other. And one more time on each side. Can add a little bit of rotation to this if it suits you. So we've got our side bend. And if you wanted to add a rotation, you might look a little bit up towards the ceiling, but not much. And then back to the final side. Okay, coming back to the center. You're going to spin yourself around, putting yourself in the middle of your mat. Feet flat, knees bent, hands on the outsides of your knees. A little bit of pressure through your hands against the sides of your knees. And we're going to use your arms as a marker so we don't go too far. So you're only going to tilt back as far as your own arms will allow. They stay on the sides of the knees, they don't come with you, and then you roll all the way back up to seated and start again. Rolling the back of the pelvis down, rounding your spine. Seeing how much you can get from this exercise with your arms, dictating how far you're allowed to go. All the way back up. And then pelvic tilt again. Rolling all the way back up. Pelvic tilting. Deepening the curve of your low back, drawing your abdominals in more. Rolling all the way back up. Let's go a little bit further this time. So you're going to pelvic tilt until your arms stop you. And then we're going to let the arms come halfway down the thigh. And then we're going to roll it all the way back up again. And let's do that again. Pelvic tilt. And then a little bit further, right onto the back of the pelvis. And then all the way back up. Let's have a couple more like this. And then we're going to see if we can get lower and lower on each one until eventually we end up all the way down on the ground. So let's have 2 more, seeing how low you can go and still get back up. And then on this one, it's all the way down and we stay there. All the way down to the mat, and your head will come down. Let's slide your left leg out on the mat and pull your right knee in for a stretch. Let's take the leg that we're holding and draw the other leg up. Cross it over. Let the knee drop out to the side. I'm adding a little bit of bouncing on that knee to help me release it at my hip. And then I'm going to grab onto the leg that's on the floor and pull it up. And add a little bit of bouncing there. And then I'm going to swap all of that around. So I'm going to put my right leg down, pull my left leg in. The leg that's on the floor, I'm going to bring it up so that it's bent and the foot is flat. I'm going to cross over the other leg, holding that stretch and then adding just a little bit of bouncing in the knee. And then I'm going to take my arms, grab onto the thigh and pull in and add a little bit of bouncing here. And then I'm going to put both feet on the floor, and now my knees are bent and my feet are flat. And from here, straight into knee floats. So I like to put a little bit of pressure against my legs to give me something to work against. So it's just enough push off my arm that I have to work to get my leg into tabletop. Trying to find a core connection that works alongside that movement or that effort. Let's add in a breath. Breathe out as you push your leg in. Two more like this. Last one. Keep your leg here. Bring the other leg up to meet it. And you can either keep your hands on your thighs or put them on the floor. And now we're going to toe tap. One foot down and bring it back up. Then the other foot down and bring it back up. Same breath pattern. Exhaling as your leg returns towards you. And I like to do all my breath work through my nose. So if you feel that you want to do that too, it's completely fine. And let's speed up our toe tapping so that they pass one another. Four, three, two, And 1. Tabletop legs. Let's have a little hug. So pull your knees into your chest. Keep hold of your right leg. Let your left leg down. And then you're going to take your right leg to the ceiling and back to tabletop a couple of times just to wake up the back of the leg a bit more. 2. And hold here. Point and flex that top foot. And then you're going to bring your arms to the floor and we're going to circle that top leg. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the last one. Change direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull the knee in. Change the legs. Go our left leg up now. Take it to the ceiling. Bend it back down. 3, 4, 5. Hold here. Point and flex. And then hold in the point. It's a soft point, so it shouldn't be too difficult to keep the shape. And then arms down, and we circle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Change direction. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. 5. Pull your knee in. And then bring the other one in as well. Give yourself a hug. And then let the legs drift out into tabletop. Put your hands behind your head and lift your head and shoulders up off the ground into an ab prep. Lower back down. Lift back up. Lowering down. Lifting up. I don't mind how you breathe, as long as you do. Each different type of breath can help you with something different. So the exhales can help to draw your tummy down flat or flatter. And the inhales can help boost you up. So you can decide yourself where you need the most amount of help. If you struggle to get yourself off the floor at all, inhaling as you lift can help to boost you up. If you don't have any problems getting up high, but your tummy is doming out, exhales can help draw that down. So you could breathe out as you lift. So it doesn't really matter where you breathe as long as you do. We're going to have 2 more. And last one, and hold. Take your right leg and straighten it to the ceiling. Bring it back down. Take your left leg and take it to the ceiling. Bring it back down. 1 leg up, 1 leg down. Other leg up, other leg down. Keep going. Let's have 4 more counts like this. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And we go straight into doubles. Both legs go up. Both legs come down. Both up. Both down. A double leg stretch to the ceiling. 2 more. Last one, and then we're going to go straight back up and hold. And we're going to split the legs for a small scissor, and then split again, and split again. Inhale one side, exhale the other. Four more. And 3. And 2. Last one. And then both knees come in. Give yourself a hug. Send your legs down long on the mat, arms overhead. Have a stretch. And then from there, you're going to roll onto your side, push yourself up to seated, and find a split leg stance for saw. And both arms out to the sides. Okay, twisting towards one of your legs. And then when your body lines up with your leg, stop. Let your arms continue the twist until the arm also lines up with the legs. So one arm out behind you, one arm out in front of you. Then let yourself fold forwards over the leg. Breathe out. Come back up. Center the arms, center the body. Go the other way. So you're going to twist your body first till it lines up with your leg. Then let your arms continue. One arm forward in line with the leg, one arm behind. And then it's a forward bend. And then we breathe out. All the way back up. Changing sides. Body, arms, fold, exhale. Coming back up. Body, arm, fold, exhale. Inhale, change. Exhale, fold. Inhale, change. Exhale, fold. Flexing your foot as you fold. And the saw is a game of opposites. As we reach over one leg, we're actually trying to push the opposite sit bone down into the floor. So see if you can sense that. That opposite sit bone will want to come with you. And you're going to see if you can keep it down on the floor to find that stretch right down at the base of your back. And it is okay if your arms happily reach to use your hands, use the grab of your foot, maybe to help you into position. If you're nowhere near your feet, it's fine. Just do what is happening for today, and that will work. Okay. Exhale. One more each side. Back up. Here's your last one. Exhale. And then we're back up. Let the arms come down. The legs are going to come together. And then you're going to pivot yourself around so that you're on the mat. And you can lay down on your front. Okay. So hands are now by your sides. Elbows tucked in, nice and neat. And you're going to press the front of your pelvis into the ground to lift your low back up into the skin, away from the floor. And notice how that lifts your head off the floor a little bit. And then you'll lower yourself back down. So let's do that again. The pelvis pushes into the floor to lift the low back bones up into the skin. And as they lift, it will lift your head a little bit. So we're lifting right from the base of the spine. We're starting in the center of ourselves. The pelvis pushes the floor. The low back bones lift up into the skin. And then we let that lift migrate up the spine towards the head. Pelvis, low back, mid back, upper back, eyes. Pelvis, low back lifts, mid back lifts, breastbone lifts, eyes lift. And it's a light push through the hands, hardly anything going through the arm into the floor. All about the pelvis. And it's lift of the low back. 2 more like this. And last one. Pressing down to lift up. And lower yourself all the way down and then push through the hands to sit back into a child's pose. I like wide knees so that I can fit in the gap. And from there, you're going to turn yourself around, lay yourself back down. And now we've got a shoulder bridge. Feet roughly underneath your knees. Push down through your feet to lift your hips up and let them rise. And then uncurl all the way back down to the mat. Pushing through your feet, hips lift up and then uncurl all the way back down. Sometimes the backs of your legs might have a little freak out and some cramp might show up. If that happens, just bring yourself back down, straighten your leg and give it a bit of a shake, and hopefully that will sort it out today. We've got 2 more. Here's your last one. And then once you bring yourself back to the mat, you're going to roll onto your side. Line yourself up on the mat, either with your underneath arm long and flat so you can rest your head, or you can prop your head up. I don't mind which one you do. I'm going to pick this one. Hand in front of you. We're going to draw the knees up into a bend, and the line we're looking for is head in line with heart, in line with hips, in line with heels. Let the heels float, and now we open and close the knees. So the focal point of this exercise is the floor. So we've got some pushing points into the ground. The side of your pelvis pushes into the ground to lift the top knee up. So we're going to push down into the mat with the side of our pelvis. At the moment, we want to push the knee up. And see if you can get that pushing pelvis to increase the height coming off that top leg. Your other pushing point is the hand that's in front of you. And it pushes the ground as well at the same moment that the pelvis pushes down. So you've got 2 pushing parts pushing your knee up. We've got 2 more like this. And here's your last one. And then you're going to bring your legs back down. And we're going to spin ourselves around or come up, spin the legs, and lay yourself back down on the other side. Line your head up with your heart, with your hips, with your heels. Draw the knees up into the bend. Float the heels off the floor. Now we do the same thing on the other side. We push the pelvis into the ground to lift the knee up. And once we've got the pelvis helping We'll ask the arm to integrate itself into the movement as well. So we've got 2 down pushing parts, telling the knee to lift itself. And inhale as the knee rises. 2 more. Last one. The knees are going to come down, the heels are going to come down. You're going to draw your knees in more and push yourself up so that you're now sat upright for a mermaid. Hook your hands around your ankles. It's an awkward sit on purpose. One arm reaches up and then you side bend over. Coming out of that, the arm goes down onto the mat and you counter stretch in the opposite direction, and then you come back up. The sit bones push down to lift you higher. And once you lift yourself higher, you may find you actually have more side bend. So our focal point for this exercise is the floor, not your hand. So you've got to push the floor to get more height. Let's have 2 more. And then you'll come back up to the center. And we're going to bring the legs in front and then draw them back in towards you, soles of the feet together. Have a little inner thigh stretch. I like to have a fidget. So rock around just to make sure that I'm not in some sort of rigid, grippy situation. So I rock around and see if I can ungrip anything that's trying to hold me too tight. I'll move my torso about, rock my weight from side to side until eventually I'll get to the point where it feels like my body has eventually just sort of given up the thought of fighting the shape. And then when I've got to that point, I let myself fold forwards. And coming back out of it, sending the legs forward and bringing them around to the other side, hooking the hand around both the ankles and reaching up to the ceiling. The focal point is the floor. So you're going to push down with your side hip to lift into that hand and then over and back up. We've got a high reach. Let's take an inhale here to see if we can get even more out of this shape. There we go. And then side bend over and back up. And I'm deliberately choosing an awkward arm position on this land. So I'm doing palm up so that I have to work harder to get myself off the floor. So if you want to take that choice too, you can. Here's your last one, and then you're going to come out of this and pivot yourself around. And we're going to first of all find 4-point kneeling for those that want to do their push-up in 4-point kneeling. And for those that want something a little bit harder, the hands will drift a little bit further out so that you can get your hips down onto a long diagonal line. Knee, hip, head. It's a tiny elbow bend. Okay, so whichever shape you're doing, it doesn't need to be a big elbow bend unless you choose. We're doing 4 more, and that is all. And 3, and 2, and 1. And then push yourself back into a shell stretch. Wide knees so that you can fit in the gap. And then you're going to curl your toes under and stretch out the soles of your feet. I'm going to give this a little bounce as well. Only do so if your soles feel happy with that. So I've taken my knees off the ground and I'm just bobbing my weight on my feet just to increase the pliability of the soles of my feet. Okay, now I'm going to walk my hands back. Push my feet down into the ground and lift my sit bones to the sky. Roll all the way back up to standing. And because I'm a dizzy person, I'm going to give you all a little minute to find your head, because I need a little minute to find mine. There we are. Lean onto your toes and up come your arms. A balance to finish. Circle your arms around and down. Shoulder roll and an arm shake. Well done, everybody. Good to see you, those that turned up. If you enjoyed the session, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Good to see you all. And as usual, oh my God, what is my hair doing? See you next week. Bye.